So, episode 2 starts out with Callahan whispering sweet nothings to Kyle. He's really working him. I just hope Kyle realizes what's happening. But I don't know, it's Kyle. So here we are with the new girl again, and there's a prisoner who's tripping, saying he needs to see his counselor or somebody, and he's banging his head up against the bars, and they're all bloody. And she's all freaked out. Like, I get it, she's green, I get it, but she what the guy took, then he took a shank or shiv or whatever and stabbed himself in the neck with it, and she freaked out. And then Kyle mustered up enough energy with his broken ribs to get to the gate to tell her to call for backup. Now look, you're new, but did you really need Kyle to tell you to call for backup? Seriously. Carney's on the phone with Mike, and Mike is just annoyed at everything, and he's Mike's extra mean this season, and I'm not mad at it. But he was telling Carney he needs to start doing what he needs to do to get in good with the warden, so that he can be assigned to Kyle or in the vicinity or whatever. And he told him find out who's housed with him. And when he said find out who's housed with him, I was like, oh shoot, he doesn't know Callahan is in there with Kyle. When he finds out, oof. So, and also Mike called Tracy to let her know to call him before she tries to go see Kyle, because of the way he looks. He wants to give her a heads up. So, and then they are interrogating the guy they pulled from the car, one of the guys who tried to kill Bunny. But this guy isn't, he's not giving him anything. Frank and Bunny meet, and Frank tells him that he was the one who killed the Russians on the train tracks, and he told him he did that for him, so that his territory is all his, but he wants to be partners, of course. So Bunny agreed, I think, to give him 20%, and I guess Frank's going to, I don't know, he's going to clear the way, protect him, whatever, drug dealing stuff. So apparently Frank's a big deal. Bunny seems to like this idea, and so they shake hands, and then Frank says, I need to meet Mike. So I guess Bunny's going to make that happen. Mike speaks to the warden, and he's like, what's going on? My brother, I thought you were going to, we had a deal. And she was like, we didn't have a deal. She's like, this is my first week. Give me a beat. And he said, so what about our agreement? She said, we didn't have an agreement. She said, I said I would keep your brother alive, and he's alive, isn't he? And Mike's pissed. He was like, if something happens to my brother, okay, you'll see. So her deputy warden here, which I cannot believe I didn't catch who this was, but I didn't realize this was Angel from the Mayans, because his hair is shorter and he's just different. But yeah, I like him as an actor. But anyway, he seems more like a henchman than he does a deputy warden, right? And he's very protective and attentive to her. He was like asking her if she was all right. But she did say it's time to reassign Carney, because he doesn't know like which side his bread is buttered on or whatever. So we're thinking they're gonna get him transferred. Lord have mercy. Kyle got a cigarette from Callahan. He was like, "You need a distraction." He is really working, Kyle. I hope. Mike's talking to Bunny, and Bunny said Frank wants to meet you, and he told him about the deal. Frank's a little leery of it, which we figured he would be, and he he was reluctant, but he said he would meet him. Well, Tracy didn't get Mike's call, or if she did, she didn't care. She went to see Kyle anyway, and she's pissed. And he was telling her, I know you don't want to see me like this, and she was like, whatever, dude, I'm coming to see you. But this whole thing is crazy. I'd be pissed if I was her. I mean, she is pissed, but this whole thing to protect, so that Robert won't tattle on everybody. That's crazy. So Mike meets up with Ian, and he tells him they're talking about the guy that tried to kill Bunny, and he's not giving them anything. They're trying to figure out who put the hit on Bunny, and Mike was just like, turn him loose. And they were like, what if he leaves? It's like, well, we still don't have any. We'll have the same amount of information as we have now. Turn him loose, trail him, and figure out he's connected with. So they do. Meanwhile, this guy and Raphael killed the guy who beat up Kyle. Oh, Frank goes back to the office and Rebecca's telling him, not Frank, but Mike goes back to the office and Rebecca's telling him that Frank's out there. And she's like, you know, she knows Frank is bad news and she's wondering what dealings they have with them. And Mike's like, I'm just gonna talk to him or whatever. And Rebecca's not happy. So Frank's, trying to, he's telling him about his deal with Bunny. And Mike is like, that sounds awfully generous. Like, what do you want with, what's up? And of course, Frank's cool and calm, and he's just like, it's a business deal. And so Mike says something to the effect of like, well, what if things go wrong or something like that. And Frank says, I know how to use restraint. And so Mike said, it was that restraint on the railroad tracks, with the Russians. And he said, I just finished what you started. He said, it's like we're all already partners. He's too, Frank is way too cool. You know what I mean? So I know Mike is like, cause Mike is cool too. So it's like, okay, dude, what are you up to? But Mike told him, I don't think I can help you. And Frank was like, well, I think you can. So that conversation was it was open ended. Like, he was saying basically he's going to work with Bunny and he could use Mike's help. Mike, it didn't feel like like a hard no either. So we'll see. Evelyn shows up to kind of lean on Ian and show him a video of a car in the vicinity of where that when he got that one prisoner out and he killed someone and she's placing him in the area or she's trying to, and he's like, that's all you have? There's a bunch of Dodge Chargers in Michigan, pull it up or whatever. He acted unbothered, but once she left he looked a little worried. He's telling her about the guy who was killed, the one that beat up Kyle. Mike sees Tracy and he tries to give her a pep talk, but I kind of like Tracy. I don't remember how I felt about her before, but she's pretty logical and she knows what this is. She knows it's a mess, and she said, "Mike, I'm being as positive as I can in this situation." So I mean, I'm liking Tracy. And these two are chatting, plotting up something. Carney goes over and roughs him up and was like, "Break this up." And he told the other guy, the deputy warden, that you like asked him what his problem was being so close to the prisoners. Now, I don't know what this was about, but Ian was standing on the bridge and Evelyn was driving under it and he had a clock out or a timer out. And I know, like, I know this is juvenile, but I thought he was gonna like, I'm like, is he gonna drop something on her windshield? I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't do something like that, but he's plotting on Evelyn. Carney goes in to tell the warden about seeing her deputy warden. I can't think of his name. I don't even think I know it. But her deputy warden that he was talking with Roberto Cruz, and he was telling the warden, you need to watch it because these guys are killers. And she told him she was listening. She's like, yeah, keep it up. I'm like, keep it up. Aren't you transferring him? Bunny's on the phone with Mike, and Mike is saying that he met with Frank, and he's basically saying, whatever y'all do, if you have to dump bodies, don't do it in the city. Do your thing. But what got me was this guy who's driving Bunny looks like he has beef with Bunny. Like I don't know if that's just his face and he's just trying to look tough, but he looks like he has a problem with Bunny. Bunny gets to his sister's birthday party, and Jackson is there, and he's telling him, it's not going to work. The new warden is tough. Maybe I should be done. And Bunny's like, I'll tell you when you're done. And he was also pissed at him for going to his sister's, showing up at his sister's house. Now, introducing Bunny's sister is not going to go well. We all know that. Just like introducing his cousin last season, I think it was last season, didn't go well. We all know his sister. Something's this whole Frank situation. Something's going to happen with his sister. She's either going to date Frank or she's going to get killed eventually. Like by the end of the season or the episode. Yeah, no, the season. Callahan's still talking to Kyle, and he tells Kyle that the guy who attacked him is dead, and he told him you must have pull. Now, y'all, Callahan knows who Kyle is, right? Does he knows that's Mike's brother. I know he knows he's a cop, but doesn't he know it? Hmm. If you know, let me know, because I'm not sure now. But come back for part two.